Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Let's Build with Audie. I bet none of you can guess what I'm staying in front of now. That's right, guys. I finally got around to doing the Colosseum, and this thing is freaking legit. It's so legit, actually, that it is, in fact, too legit to actually quit. It's approximately how... Today, I'm going to show you guys a good portion of the Colosseum. It is a massive, massive build. I wasn't joking about the legit thing. It's actually about the size of the entire city currently, if that'll give you somewhat of an idea of how big it is. So I'm going to have to break it up into a couple different episodes. But I'm going to go ahead here and start to try to kind of explain. I use World Edit out the wazoo. Wazoo? That's like an instrument. I used World Edit a lot. So I'll try to explain my steps here as I go along. It's a little tricky to follow, and you will probably be slightly bewildered as to how I erected some of these walls so fast. Alright, here we go. As I pan around this space here that I'm going to be using to construct the Colosseum, I want to quickly explain how I employed World Edit to the fullest extent here. I picked a center point in the desert where I had previously marked out sort of the dimensions of the Colosseum, and I simply did a whole bunch of hollow cylindrical ellipses, and they're all concentric, and basically what each of them represents is a different structural layer to the Colosseum. And you may be wondering, Audie, is this replica of the Colosseum built exactly to scale of the ancient Roman Colosseum? Excuse me. Well, aren't you guys just brilliant? That is exactly what I have done. I pulled the dimensions off of Google, and I built this Colosseum. The short radius of the actual Roman Colosseum is 78 meters. The long radius is about 95 meters. And if you double these, you get the diameters. You can input them into what's it called? World Edit, and there you go. Boom! You got your cylindrical, concentric, hollow ellipses, or whatever I call them. I can't even remember now. Hashtag advanced calculus. But anyway, guys, that's just my stupid roundabout way of telling you that this Colosseum build is in fact to scale to the actual Colosseum. Obviously, every little detail is not going to be duplicated identically, but well, that'd be impossible actually with your cubic meter blocks. But I did the best I could, and I kind of simplified it here and there, and you'll see that. But now basically what I have to do, now that I cheated in all these circles or whatever, I've got to go through and figure out, you know, exactly how many steps, or like seats I guess, are going to be between each layer, which I actually did beforehand. But it didn't work out perfectly, and I mean, does it ever, really? I don't think it ever does. But as I'm working that out, you can kind of see some of the problems I dealt with. And then I actually eventually decided just to go ahead and do some more ellipses for the seats. And let me explain a little better what I mean by that. So I go back, once I've verified that all of these in between rings are the proper height from each other, and that's what you're seeing now. I'm going to go back to my base point in the center of the ellipse and go to different heights and create different different radius, one depth hollow ellipses. Good lord, try and say that several times. And that's what you're seeing now, and I set those at different heights for the different levels of seating. And I can do that for each tier that you see, and then that basically just makes all of the seating automatically for me. There's a bunch of holes between the ellipses, just due to the nature of Minecraft, so I'll have to go and fill some of those in. But this was a huge time saver, as you can see me just like blinking away, just clicking all those seats in. So that was an excellent use of an excellent time saver that World Edit provided me. So it sounds complicated, sounds a little tricky. It's really not that hard to do. Once you just kind of get in there and start messing around with World Edit, you learn how to do all the little commands and everything, and it's actually pretty easy. But once I finish out these little rows here, the rows of seating, I stepped back and took a look, and it just looks extremely bland and uniform. And not only that, it's missing steps to actually access all the different seating. So this is where I kind of go around and begin to customize to some degree the different levels of seating in the different tiers with different types of stairwells and different entryways. You see me here making an exit or entry into the actual seating area of the stadium. These are pretty standard. I didn't want to put one like on the curvy section of the elliptical for obvious reasons. It's a nightmare to put things in circles, much less to actually make ovals in Minecraft. So here you see me just throwing in some steps and starting to do some of the custom design aspects of the build. So once I sort of got all this other monotonous crap taken care of, I moved on to this upper section, this upper tier of the Colosseum, and this is where I feel like it really started to kind of take shape. I wanted to obviously implement some archways into the system. I wanted to have sort of a nosebleed section, but also sort of like a rich people section where they could sit under a covered roof and be entertained and be far enough away from the blood that they couldn't smell, you know, the dead goats and like the cats and stuff. I don't know what fights down there really. I would imagine just like a giant goat and like a cat just going at each other's throats. But anyway, once I got that top tier sort of section finished up, I moved on and I wanted to sort of customize the entrance where the actual fighters are going to be entering the arena, and then I put like a pedestal up on there for the emperor dude or whatever to come down and be like, yo, just cut his throat or whatever. I don't know how that works, but that's what that was. And I feel like any kind of customizations or adding to the asymmetry of the build really improves the aesthetics overall. And then I moved on to another entrance over here. I'm just going to show you guys like two of the entrances because the other two are the same, obviously. Or they're not the same, but I did the most interesting ones, I promise. So they're just, again, adding some asymmetrical properties. You see me throwing in more fences there. There's a ridiculous amount of fences. Just a ridiculous amount of everything, really, in this build. And the length of this video does not at all represent the number of hours I spent on this. Lots of hours. I know I kind of cheated in a lot of crap, but there was a lot of hours spent just filling in holes and putting fences and filling in the walkway, just everything. So again, here's another example. I wanted to add in some asymmetry here, and I figured I would have like a super rich section, like the elite people come and sit up here and drink their cocktails and kill their goats together. And watch the cats fight and stuff. So I just thought that was a really cool kind of an artsy addition there that I stuck up in the sort of upper section. Now, once again, I stepped back and took a look overall. This is a very good thing to do, by the way. Tip of the day, if you have your pencil out or pen. Look, I'm not pennist. God, I'm not going to be able to continue after that. What was I talking about? Anyway, step back, took a look. I said, wow, there's a lot of seating, and it's very repetitive. You know what this could use? This could really use a snack stand up in here in this section. So I took out a big chunk of seating, really reducing the influx of ticket funds here. But I wanted to put in some snack stands or whatever, like I said, so people could sell hot dogs or goat meat or whatever. I don't know why I talk about Romans killing goats so much. Just kind of just sort of an interpretation I always had. So I wanted the overhang to be a little bigger, stuck that out. That was a pain in the butt because, as you can see, there's an oval there, lots of curvy ovals, and what I have to work with is squares. So I tried to make it look the best I could. I wanted it to be kind of rounded on the ends, and so that's kind of the shape I ended up with there. And then I went ahead and stuck in the snack stands underneath the overhang. Popped in some little support columns like you see here, and then, like I said, I threw one of these bad boys in on the other side. I think I put it catty corner just so everybody can have sort of equal access to snacks. And so there you go. That's pretty much what I've done for the interior, and I think that's a good place to call this one. I still have done nothing to the outside of the Colosseum. All of this work in the outside of the Colosseum is still just a big cylinder of white bricks. So I will be taking a look at that next time. I hope you guys stay tuned. I really hope you hit the like button. This was a lot of work, and subscribe if you like it. I'm literally like punching my hand with my fist right now because I'm so pumped about this Colosseum. So I will see you guys next time. Apparently it's my catchphrase now. Till next time, I'll see you next time. Deuces.